Dallas on a sweep. Brings it up.
All right, cool. Hey guys, it's Coach Jeff from Youth Football Online. I'm co-founder. I'm here with Coach Greg, and we're here to talk about the 3-5 defense. So, Coach, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I started in high school in the Raleigh-Durham area. I played for a coach who was heavy on the 4-3 over, and I was the Sam in the 4-3 over, so that's pretty similar. And then in college, my coach was a 3-4 and a 3-3 stack guy. And I started off as an overhang, and then as I gained 30 or 40 pounds, I ended up moving inside to the DN spot. So I've been coaching youth football about 13 years. I've been very successful, fortunately, with some great talented kids. I think we won City 7 out of the 13, and we've lost in the championship game a couple times. So we've been around winning a lot. So it's good to build a winning something around the kids, and it's good for the kids.
Absolutely. How did you get into the 3-5? What made you run it?
Well, I think it was maybe 6-7 years ago. I was on a Glazier clinic. And I'm sitting in the clinic. I went to an O-line clinic to try to get some knowledge, be a well-rounded coach. So I'm sitting in the O-line clinic, and the O-line coach is like, well, we can do this, but when we're running against 3-5, we have a lot of difficulties. He said it 3 or 4 times, and then he started to pique my interest. So I peeked my head in a few 3-5 clinics. I hooked up with a coach, Georgia Military Institute down in Georgia, and they run a 3-5 exclusively. And he shared so much stuff with me, and it really put me on the right path. And then I kind of dumbed it down to teach it to the youth level. And we kept some of the stuff out, but we used a lot of it. But that's what really started it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I only been running. This past season was our 3rd season running, so I'm somewhat new to it. But I was always a little skeptical because, I didn't know how well it would do against the run with only 3 down linemen, which a lot of coaches seem to have that concern. And that's kind of what I want to address today. Like, a lot of coaches have the misconception that they think you can't stop the run out of the 3-5, which I now wholeheartedly disagree. But, real quick, I got into it because for me, I think you could easily adjust to any formation. If they spread you out, you could easily adjust to that. If they come out compressed, you still have, strong box against the run. And then, two, it's not a lot of teams in my league run this defense. I'm not sure about your league. But in the Northeast, I think we're the only 3-5 team. My local high school, my buddy's the defensive coordinator. He runs a 3-5, so I talked to him about it a lot. But other than that, I don't know of any 3-5. So it gives us kind of something different, and gives us a point of difference and identity for my kids, and we kind of really build around that. So
yeah, same here. I mean, nobody runs 3-5 here. I think a couple of younger organizations, or the younger teams at my organization, kind of saw what we were doing, and they tried to do it. It's going to take a while. It took a while for me, but nobody runs it, and nobody's expecting, especially, like I said, I watched a lot of video and a lot of stuff, of course, when you asked me to come on and watch how you do what you do. And especially when you're running the stack and you're slanting and you're moving, it's impossible for kids to prepare for that.
Oh, how many coaches are really practicing how to pick that up, especially if they don't scout you? If they don't know what's coming and see your kid slanting, they're really not going to be able to pick it up. I know I really haven't practiced offensively against it that much, so
because you don't see it.
No, we don't see it. We film everyone, so we always work through our blocking progression. But still, when you're slanting these kids, man, and it's really difficult
and I think that's what kind of I do a little different than you as I look. Is I'm a big shade and technique guy up front. I coach in a weighted league. And I've coached unlimited. I've coached both. But right now, currently, I'm in a weighted league. So the shades and the techniques kind of force a lot of issues up front because your kids are going to say body in front of me, man in front of me. They're going to want to block. So it creates natural double teams and it cleans lanes for linebackers.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it puts them in conflict. If you have them on an outside shade, an outside shade of the tackle, is the tight end going to help him? Is he not? And if he doesn't, there's definitely
exactly what you
benefits.
said. It's it's exactly what you said. You've been teaching a guard for 7 weeks. Go get the backer. But he's got a 3-tech in his face. Yeah. He can't get to the backer. And if he goes to get the backer, he's leaving the 3-tech with a clean shot in a gap. So it conflicts what they've been taught all season long by you running a defense that everybody doesn't run.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I'm going to let you share your screen. And then you could get into what you do. I'll make you host. Do you hear anything in the background?
No, sir, I don't hear anything.
Oh, nice. I hear it lightly.
Yeah, can you see my screen here?
Yep, perfect.
Yeah, and this is kind of a quick overview. It's just something I get a kid. It's a little bit more detailed what I get a kids, but I didn't know how long we were going to talk. I didn't want to share a 20-page, 30-page manual.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk 20 minutes. I try to keep it clean and quick. Like I said, naturally, I teach my D-line techniques, and that's a big thing to me. We practice that. We do pursuit drills and conditioning drills based on that alignments. We'll call the defense out. They have to line up correctly. Then we'll sprint pursuit drill, and then they'll come back tired, and we'll do it again. We'll switch the call. So I really drill those positions. I try to tell people teaching techniques, it ain't easy, because if you line up wrong in the game, it could screw you. And this is kind of similar to what you have. It's a base alignment, but you'll notice I shade that we technique everything. We'll have a 3, a 1, and a 5. We'll technique it, and we'll have the linebackers kind of cocked. I like my middle linebacker. He's a tackling machine. Everything that comes through A-gaps is usually quick hitting. Usually a lot of stuff is quick hitting. So this guy, if he doesn't see it quick, he can pursue to the ball immediately. The weak side guy is usually a guy away from the call, so he's got a lot of run. I usually put my athlete there. The strong side guy, which I call a joker, Sam or Joker, is probably the most important guy in my defense. I just need a tackler. I don't need the best player on my team. I just need a tackler and a smart guy, because this guy calls the strength of the defense, because he's going to it 90% of the time. So, and up front, I mean, and that's one thing I watched a lot of your videos. You're not big on penetration. I play it both ways. I do allow guys to penetrate. If I scout you, I'm a big scout guy like you watching tape. If I scout you and you run a ton of traps, then we also have a stay call where they penetrate the gap 1, 2, and we hold our gap control and gap position. So we do put both calls in. I allow them to do that, because I think one of the most underutilized drills in football, period, is just get-offs. Just taking a ball, snapping it, and letting kids go 5 or 10 yards just to get a good explosion off the line. So I teach them that every day. We do probably 200 get-offs a week just for the D lineman. And it's good conditioning, but it's good getting that mentality. Once I get down, it's time to go. And as for which we decide we're going to discuss, which is more the power sets, this is what I like to go to. I have a solid and an over. And why I call it a Sam or Joker, because that guy determines it. He's more of a 7. We bring him down to the gap, to the strong side. He's more of a 7. Sometimes this kid, if he's really good, because really my main criteria is smart kid. He's got to be smart to call a defensive call and a good tackler. He's got to be able to tackle in space. If this kid is smart, we'll flex sometimes, and we'll bring the overhang inside and bring him outside, kind of to give a different look. And because, once the kid starts to make plays, okay, number 8's making all the plays, and then we'll move him around to kind of hide him some. We'll flex him as the overhang, and we'll bring the outside strong guy inside. But with this defense is what we do, and what a lot of good offensive line, even it's going to have to be a great offensive line coach to teach second-level blocking. Most guys don't really teach it well. So I can take the nose, for example, and I read your defensive stuff, and it's kind of like, I don't really have a nose that can two-gap. A lot of times I don't have that guy. I don't have a lot of players that can two-gap. I know in my era, when I played, if I played inside backer, my coach would tell me, read A, check C. It's tough to find kids that can do that, because a lot of kids play 20 different sports, and they don't really focus on just football, so they're not really great complete football guys. So you have to teach them when you have them, so you don't have a lot of time. For me, I like to do the shades and techniques, because you can see, if you look at the nose, if he takes 2 steps forward, the guard and center is going to double. I don't care what blocking assignment you call or what a coach calls, those 2 guys are going to, natural reaction is to block down, which kind of cleans the gap up for the weak side backer. And the same thing in the backside A. The guard has a 3 tech. He's going to think about blocking that kid, regardless of what he's been taught all week. My goal, and what I tell my coaches that I learned a long time ago when I started youth ball, my goal is not to beat the coach on the sidelines. It's to beat the kids on the field. And I think by putting shades in there, guys going to natural instinct to double team, regardless of what they taught all week. And that opens up gaps everywhere. Because you look, a lot of times you run your off tackle play, your guard tackle is going to block down on your end. The Sam or the Joker is going to be in the gap they want to run to. Tight end's going to look for the outside guy 9 times out of 10. And if he blocks down, that leaves the overhand guy. Now, this is a gap strong defense. We don't do – I just don't have the 2-gap players. I mean, if you got a 2-gap player, then by all means, I would do more what you do.
The last 3 years we've had, this last year he wasn't as good. But I will say, too, when teams come out, we do have an overcall to the tight end where we'll put our nose in a 1 and our tackle in a 5, our D end in a 5. So we do play some shades because we're able to really handle the down blocks. A lot of times, a lot of teams will run power or ISO even to the tight end side. So, putting our D end in a shade in a 5 tech is what I was telling you about before, that it makes the tight end pretty much have to double team that kid.
He has to.
So we occupy 2, and that frees up. It would be our Leo, our left stack backer. So I agree with you. That's why we added it, and so over left we'll do that over right. That's when our right end will be.
And like I said, high school I was a 4-3 over guy, so I understand. So my concept is create double teams up front, and it's tough to block that second level. It frees your backers up completely. But I also want kids to enjoy the experience. So if my guys up front are good, of course I let them penetrate. Because sometimes that guy's going to look, he's getting frustrated. I'm not getting to the backer. At 2 or 3 times a game, the guy's just going to run past your guy trying to get to a linebacker. And the lineman's going to be right there in the gap, and we got a 4-yard loss. Now you're in 2nd and 14. It changes everything. I'm really big on that. If a team's hurting us a lot, this is where we go with the overcall. We kind of shift the end in and split the linebacker out. We go with this. If they're hurting us with like dives and stuff like that right up the middle a lot, we'll switch to this and we'll mix it up. But we still mix both fronts because you still got gap coverage. No gaps are open. All the gaps are covered. So a lot of times we'll switch to this if they're hitting us with a lot of straight up the middle plays, a lot of times on the ISOs, because we just want to ISOs and power. We just want to kind of make sure all gaps are full and make that running back make a decision. If we can make the running back make a decision, then 9 times out of 10, he's going to stutter those feet. And once he does that, we win. If a guy gets a 7-yard run and nobody's in the hole, then he's more than likely he's going to hit his head on the goalpost. We just want to try to make that guy make a decision. Because a lot of times, I mean, Coach, coaching youth ball, you don't have 11 strong defenders. There's going to be one guy that maybe not as good as the rest, or a guy you got to build up maybe early in the season. So you want to put him in a position to be successful where you feel like he's been a part of it. So we kind of want to seal all the gaps. If he wins his gap, he feel like he's won. And that's kind of what I want to create. If I win my gap, I did my play, I'm helping my team. So that's why I kind of one gap and I don't have the 2-gap guys like maybe you have. And it just depends on what guys are running at us. If they're running up the middle, we run the over a lot of times. And then if we're getting a lot of the outside off tackle stuff, that's when we go with the solid. Paper is what we run. We want to go too high look. And they're about killing us with seam routes with the tight ends. They suck you in, then tight end pop. By going to more so a 2 look, I mean, that's why the Sam or the Joker has to be a really smart kid, because I'm going to slide him back to almost 7 yards, and he's going to read tight end and read the gap. Tight end releases, he's going to help corner pick up. When we got 2-on-1, that dump pass or pump pass is gone. It's eliminated. And I don't run this. We run this against power sets in like 3rd and long and 4th, and they're going 4th and 4th and long, but they're still in the power set. Guys do that. They don't necessarily spread you out to throw the ball. They'll come out of power set. So we'll do this in 3rd and 4th and long, and we're expecting a tight end seam route. So we got 2 safeties and we got corners. Now, one thing I do, I'm a big fan of Nick Saban, huge fan. I don't have the athletes he has, but a lot of his principles I'm really good with. I like the peel coverage. My college coach ran it. So with the overhangs, we do a ton of peel coverage. And I promise you, Coach, we get 5 or 6 pick sixes every year, because they'll throw a swing pass to the back and they're not even looking for that guy. Whereas my linebackers, they get caught in trash and they might not get out there. So we're always in peel coverage. I tell an overhang, if he's coming and he sees that back peel, open those hips, flatten down the line. You see the hands go up, you recognize pass, you go straight to the body right then, straight to the body. man, we pick off those. I had a couple of those I wanted to show you on video. We'll pick that thing off, and the running back still running all the way, waiting on the ball, and we got it. We're going for 6, 50 and 60 yards. We get 5 or 6 a season. That's a guarantee just by running peel coverage. I'm really big on that. And I got that from Saban. My college coach ran it. And I really picked it up from Saban and a couple of drills we run to really emphasize that, a lot of scout stuff. We do blitz. I just got notes there. We do blitz overhangs. We'll blitz inside guys. And when you look, I'll go back to the Joker formation. When you look at how we run our defense, we'll do a 3-on-2 combo blitz where we got a nose and a 1 and the end is in a 3. We'll just send the backer. It's a natural lane created. The guy come clean free. I mean, I've done it against teams and you had like 7, 8 sacks by a middle linebacker just by that alignment. That's a 3-on-2. It's combo. You could do it any way, really, on either side. And that's kind of things that we do that kind of generates those 2nd and long and 3rd and long and take you out of power sets. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to run it. I mean, if we can get one of those where you're running, say you're running a off tackle power to the strong side here in this Sam Joker, if I call the combo and we'll have names for them, but I'll call the combo. And then the end goes up to 3 and the nose goes up to 1, and the middle linebacker is going to get a clean lock. If he hits it just right, I've seen us hit the guy in the backfield as he's getting a handoff and cause a fumble.
Oh, absolutely. Times that snap count, man. You're going to shoot right in.
Yeah, we kind of do that. I do that a lot. I do it in big games early to get a play, I think, to get the kids going. We played a team one year. They had beat us in the regular season, like 21-7 or something at our home field. We had to go to their place to play in the playoffs. The very first play of the game, I call that blitz, that combo between the middle linebacker and the nose and the end. Guy shoots in, hits the guy, gets a fumble. We end up beating the team like 40-something-7. We blew them out, but that play triggered the emotion and energy of the kids. So that's just some of the things we do. If you have any questions, the combos is huge. On the coverage end, on the back end, just like we do when we're in the paper or the 2-high look, I'm a 2-read guy or tight end read. Sometimes we'll run 2-read match coverage. We'll run combos. And I always run combos against trip. Backside guy on trips always got man. We might run 3 on one side. Yeah, because that's where the slant comes from. That's the one. They'll put trips over here, and that backside guy, they'll run a slant in a heartbeat. We play a ton of inside leverage on our coverage because I believe that until you get to high school, that back shoulder throw and that fade is tough to throw because we got the sidelines to help us. We run a lot of cover one. Like I said, we do call. I give it names kids will remember. We'll call McDonald's. That's combo coverage. We'll have 1-on-1 coverage on one side, 3 or 2 on one side, and we'll have 1 on man-to-man on the backside. I just try to keep it simple so the kids will learn. I think, and I agree with you and like I said, what I read on you, a lot of the main goal is alignment. If we align right, we're going to win. We're going to have a chance to win every down.
Absolutely.
Regardless of a 3 or 7-man front. I know some guys run 6-2s and 4-4s. We're accomplishing the same thing, but we're giving you different looks every week.
Absolutely.
You can't really pick up on it.
And I like, too, we're base cover 3 is what we do. But throughout the last few seasons, if teams send 4 kids deep, we only have 3 deep. Common knowledge is 4 verts against cover 3. That was a little bit of a problem for us going forward. But, we are base cover 3, but we do play a lot of man. Like you were saying, when teams go 3-by-1, the single receiver side, we'll lock that. We call it lock. That'll tell our corner that, we're going to lock on him, and then we're still going to play 3 deep. So it's that'll allow us to defend 4 verts because we can match. So if the three receiver side go vertical, we got to match with our corner. And then our dogs too, actually, and then the backside we got locked. So if they send 4 deep, we're matching 4. So and that's just the diversity of this defense too. Like you have on here, you got paper. You're bringing that safety down, moving that going 2 safeties because you have that diversity. You could easily go 2 safeties. We always move our dog around if we're gonna. It's our 2 outside backers. Anything we do like that, we'll take our dog off and move them around. That's kind of how we do it. But it allows you to be multiple, while keeping things simple. That's what I love about this defense.
I love about it because, like I said, we can give you a look. I could just by moving the Sam or the Joker. Now we look 2 high. We look 3-4. We move them down. We give you a look. It's 3-5. Is it a 4-3? You don't know. I mean, you're kind of confused. We can give you certain looks where we shift in the line. You can look like a 4-2-5. All of this is running out of the 3-5 principle and the concept. And what we do is, like I say, we just try to stay gap sound. Outside, we will play a ton of man. It's not that you have the best corners. If I'm going against a speed guy, we'll run special stuff to kind of take him away. But I want to make a young quarterback make a throw in a tight window. If he sees that we're running man under, if we take and running inside leverage, we take away every route. Inside leverage, we're taking away the slant, we're taking away the curl, we're taking away the end. You take away every route in the route tree except the back
all the easy stuff to throw.
Yeah, all the easy stuff. We take that away. And then it's like 1st and 10 or 2nd and 10, and you take and make that deep throw, and it's not accurate. Now you're in 4th and 10. Now what do we do? Do we punt? Do we go? I want you to make that throw, and if you make it, like I tell my kids, we get up, we shake the guy's hand and say next play. But we also have the sidelines as a defender, and we try to make it tough. And we move the safety around if they like to throw wide. I mean, you sound like a guy that's like myself. You're a football junkie, so we're going to have tape, and we're going to scout you fairly well for the kids, and we're going to cover. I'm a big fan of covering route combinations with my corners and linebackers before we play. If I know the corners and the concept, I know the routes and the concepts you're running, then we're going to practice against those concepts during the week.
Rep it all practice week. Absolutely.
Yeah, rep us all practice week. So when we see it, we can definitely make an adjustments, and we'll be ready for it.
Yeah, no, I like it. And again, it just allows you to be so multiple, man. And the different combinations of blitzes and stunts, if you want to get creative, there's so much to this defense. But
Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. If a coach said you can't stop the run in the 3-4, in the 3-5, or any 3 front, really, what would your response be?
13 years, 10 trips to city, 7 city championships. It works. We've had one of the best. And I mean, like I said, and even when I ran a lot of 3-4 early. And like I said, with 2 safeties, because safeties were filling alleys on outside runs, and that's what we taught early. I've been in love with a 3-man front since college when my coach brung it to me, and we started running it in college. So it's a 3-4. We ran a lot of that. So 3-man front, you can. It's just you can't do it the old way. You can't just line a kid up and say, if you don't have 2 gap guys, then, go to shades. You can adjust the defense to make it work. It's no different. We got gap sound even with 3 down linemen. We still gap sound. Mm-hmm. And when you playing those trap teams, you're still ready for it. I don't think as much you can't do out of a 3 down front. I can do anything a 4 front can use. And plus, I'm putting another athlete on the field that I can change without having to sub people. Just by moving a guy back here and moving there, now we look a totally different look. And I don't have to sub and say, bring in another lineman and bring in another big kid, or I'm putting a kid that's not athletic enough in a position where he can't make plays. I tell guys, it's 3-man front. It ain't for everybody, but it does work. It does work.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've been running a 3 front much longer than I have. Again, I just completed my 3rd season running it. I was always kind of a 4-4 and 5-3 guy was our base. But I don't know. I just, like so many more teams are going to spread, at least in my league. I'm not sure. We do have our double tight end, double wing teams, power eye teams we face. But, so many teams are going to spread stuff, spreading us out. And when you have a 5-man front, it's really hard to adjust to the spread. Are you going to move out your end? You're going to move out one of the linebackers? Or even like 6-2, it's really, in my mind, it's really hard to adjust to spread formations.
Oh, I agree. I agree totally.
So that was the main reason why for us. But like I said, I'm still trying to get better at it, and that's why I was getting a couple of you guys on that run.
Yeah,
this, so to get some feedbacks, because there are holes in what I do, and I've noticed them the last couple of years, especially as we started winning games and playing in championships, that good teams, there's some things that are exposed, like with our cover 3-4 verts killed us in the seam. Tight end pops because my dogs are wide and my linebackers are stacked. So especially if I get caught blitzing one of my stack backers, that tight end just bumps out. So, little things like that were, and then power, was hurting us a little bit too. But that's when we went to the shade, we actually put our ends in 5s. We actually played the power much tougher. And it either got spilled outside or we turned it actually in. But it didn't go to where it wanted to go. That, we want to stop it where it's designed to go. And if it gets spilled, or it gets forced in, fine, so be it. As long as our pursuit paths are good, we should be able to find. So yeah,
and that's the key, I think, for me with the 3 down. I've been doing it a while, but like I said, the 3-5 worked for me because of the ability to flex and move people around a little bit more than the stack. We ran stack, maybe it was 2015. We ran stack, and we did a lot of slanting, but I had the guys that could do it. Here lately, I haven't had those kind of guys that could do that, and we've been more one gap reads and flows, and we do the same thing if they're pulling guards or whatever. And like you say, everybody's going to spread. This is just a base. If they have a power set, I'm sure they have a spread set as well. So if you spread us out, we can just kick linebackers or kick overhangs out, and all of a sudden now we got matched up. Everybody's matched up, and we can do quarters. We can do it if we want to. Like I said, a lot of the 2 read stuff, we're basically matching up for the 4 verts. Because people, that's unfortunately in the youth game, you're going to get verticals. You're going to get verticals. Guys are going to test you down the field. So to be prepared, that's kind of what we do. It gives me that flexibility, and you can't throw bubble screens. We can match up. We can go man. We can run any coverage you want to run out of a 3-5, and we still have gap sounds responsibility. Because if you kick out, we're just going to squeeze down the overhang, and then we're going to have the Sam on the slot. And if you go doubles and wide, we can kick out. We can do a bunch of stuff. We can kick an overhang. We can kick a linebacker. I'll kick the best coverage guy in that situation, and we'll match up. And we can zone it or we can man it. It doesn't matter. But we still have 4 or 5 guys in the box to maintain gap integrity if they want to spread you out and still try to run it.
Absolutely.
So that everything I drop, my mental is maintain gap integrity just in case they try to spread us and run us.
Absolutely. And the only, I've been having mixed results with my slanting. For the most, I'll say for the most part, it works well, especially because teams don't know how to block it. We'll always have a free rusher usually, and I'll pull up what I do and we'll go through it a little bit. And I want your feedback on it as well. But playing techniques or shades, that is, I think it's a little more simpler. Allows your kids to kind of just go. Because sometimes my problem I was having, again, I'm somewhat new to the 3-5 too. I love it, but I'm still kind of going through all the troubleshooting. Like there are some issues with it. But like our ends, we have them in 4s. A lot of time we slant them a lot. They're either going downtown or going uptown. Sometimes when we tell them to slant, they slant themselves out of the play, or they don't dip and rip enough, and then they kind of just get washed down, and that's no good either. Whereas playing with a shade makes the lineman have to reach and step rather than just wash you down when he's head up. So that's why.
Right.
That's the little. I've been doing a better job of teaching the dip and rip, and dip, rip, and then we play at the heels of the lineman. I've gotten better at coaching it, so I've seen results, because I almost changed it. Because the first year I do it, it was hit or miss. Sometimes we'll slant real fast, or if we got a good athlete at the DN, we'll get some penetration, or we'll even, make a nice play. But a lot of times, man, they would just step. Okay, you want to slant down? Fine, we're just going to push you. And these kids were just slanting themselves out of the play. So that's why when they're on the shade, they could probably play a little faster. And I noticed that when I said when we have our overcall, we do put our ends in a 5, which made a pretty big difference.
Big difference.
It's we put our ends in a 5, and we literally take our stack backer and shoot him through B, and he's in a 5, so he's going to have C. So we occupy the tackle on the tight end, double team my end, and that stack backer's free, and we still have our overhang, which is our dog.
Right.
So,
and then that's important. Like I say,
that's something we want to add into for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's important. It just puts the kids in a quandary. You've been taught all week. Tight end's been taught all week is going to get the outside guy. The tackle's going to block down, outside guy. Now we got a hole. We got a guy sitting in that hole now. We got a guy sitting in the hole you want to run in, and you got a guy inside of you. Tackle saying, okay, the guy's in my space. I got to block down. Tight end saying, I've been taught all week to go get the outside guy, but it's a guy right here. Mm-hmm. Either way it goes, somebody's going to be free. Yep. And it doesn't look like it, but when you go with a 5 and an overhang, you can't run outside because you got 2 guys on the edge and plus a corner. So you got a couple guys on the edge plus a corner. It makes it really difficult to run outside. But at initial look, you're like, they got all these guys in the box. We got to hit them outside. But I got 3 guys on both sides. Even when I'm running a 3 a week and an overhang and a corner, I got 4 guys over there. But that's supposedly the weak side of the defense. But when coaches see it, they think, well, all those guys kind of stuffed in the middle. Let's try to hit them on the edge. But we got 3 or 4 guys on each side that can technically react to outside runs and sweep tosses and option stuff.
Yeah, I mean, for us, man, if they come out and double tight, what we want to do is we want to spill everything. You know, we
Yep,
just
spill
want to
everything.
we want to spill everything.
Exactly.
That's basically how we play. You know, we always want to play inside to out, but we want to get everything spilled against like double wing teams where they're, you know, we just if it's dying to go inside, we want to spill it out. If it's going out, we obviously want to force it in. So
Force it in. That's it.
just do me a favor. Can you make me host?
Okay.
I'll just go through a little bit what I do. I'm thinking about doing a whole nother video of my defense, like with full detail and going through the hundreds of game clips I have of it. But you know, I'm trying to learn it and because there are holes, like I said, with certain things. Oh, one sec here.
Yeah, I made you host.
All right, let's see. Share screen. We good?
Yeah, I'm good. I see.
All right, just real quick, you know, we have we have an uptown downtown system. We call it downtown. We tell our ends to slant B. Uptown they slant C. Okay, we have them in fives and the zero here, and then our dogs are they're overhang players pretty much too. But like I was telling you, a problem we had with Power was this. You know, he would slant down. A lot of times this kid's free. You know, like tight end's
Right.
going to block. They're going to see a D end. The tight end's going to base block, try to base him out. He'll take him, and our rip's always free. You know,
Right.
same thing here. This is what I love about the defense and why I like the stack and playing kind of a head up. Because we know we're going to take this kid wherever we want to go. So if we were slanting out, we know this tackle is going to go out with him. Okay, and we do have a call razor or no slants right, laser or no slants left. We don't always have him two gap. But I've had the luxury of having a kid that was just really shock, shed an anchor, and come off. So I was kind of blessed. I never really had to, you know, figure it out when I don't have a two gapper. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was always very lucky. So I'm sure at some point I won't have that, and you know, we'll go from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, man, one of these guys are free. You know, this is our Rip, our Mike, our Leo. That's what we call it. So if we say downtown Rip, that means DN slanting down, the Rip's blitzing C, so he's going to creep up post pre-snap. Then once the ball snap, we're going to blitz C. So, but that's our downtown uptown system. Like I was saying, we did have some issues here. Okay, this isn't the best program to do it live, but this kid would block down. They either kick out with a fullback if it was I formation, or they pull a guard and kick out. So there's that kind of seam here. You know, you could see like there's that seam. They get a good kick out. And then even though my Rip's free, you know, if it's power, they're going to have a puller for him or they'll have someone for him. You know, where this kid's going to go, maybe they don't even have to block down and double this kid and combo off. Maybe he could go right to linebacker because I'm going to slant him down. He'll get on him. He'll wash this kid down and we'll kick this out. So that's why if this kid, you know, was in a 5 and we told him, listen, you have C gap, you know, he'll have B. It's much harder. So
much harder.
That's why I'm leaning towards shade in certain situations. Not that we haven't been able to stop power out of this. We have. But, like, there's times, especially against double wing teams, where they would just wash this kid down. But my answer really for that is power if we uptown this. So if we know we're getting down blocks or he's getting washed, we'll just uptown it. We'll go 3 times downtown. 4th time we'll go uptown. So it was like 30% of the time we're downtown. Then we'll, just to keep them honest, keep them guessing, we'll go uptown. But we do like uptown against, you know, down blocking teams. So we're really stepping into that down block rather than just getting washed. And then usually this kid is free.
And that's the key. You take away the gap they want to run through. And I think you do that with the uptown. And it's kind of, and just give them a chance to have somebody in that gap, make them see bodies. And then I think that'll free that back up. Give them time to get there.
Yeah.
Both actually.
And we build our defense from the inside out. And Nose is our best D lineman, physical kid. Mike's our best player on the field. And then our safety somewhat is a pretty good player too. Although we've been staying in our cover 3 the last 2 years just so we don't get beat deep. Because we think we could stop the run with 8, you know. So we just don't. We're very hell-bent on not getting beat deep. You know, no big plays. But, you know, our Mike's our best player. A lot of times it's nice because if you have a good kid that's coached up and that could 2-gap, this kid's always free to make plays.
Always free.
You know, so a lot of times our Mike's making a whole bunch of plays. So he's always free to scrape over the top, or maybe we'll give him a key depending on what age we are at. But, That's just basically it in a nutshell. Let's see. Anything else? Loose. Do I have my over on here? No, I don't. It's going to be here. But yeah, hair's on our over call. I mean, this is kind of our adjustment to the unbalance because with our stack, our nose has to play on the center of the formation. I think a lot of coaches get confused with the nose that they just play on the center. For us, the center of the formation, for us to stay balanced on defense, the center of the formation right here is the guard. When they're coming out, it's like a four-man surface here. The center of the formation's here. So we want our nose on the center. So now our defense is balanced even though they're unbalanced. So
we do the same thing. I saw that when I was looking through this. Yeah, I saw it. And that's we do the same thing. We just shift over a body, shift over a man. We do the same thing. We had the exact same call. Because teams will try to catch you in overload if you're not ready.
Yep. So, we over right or over left it, and that's kind of really our answer for that. Downtown rip against. We play cover 3 and man. That's basically what we really do. We do play cover 4. Well, again, depending on if it's like prevent type situations, we'll move our dog back. But we'll either play man or we'll play cover 3. If we're scared with verts, we'll play man here. But most of the time we're in our cover 3. But if they come 2x2, we go downtown. We'll call rip. Rip tells the rip linebacker he's blitzing. If we went Leo, we'll tell our Leo backer he's blitzing. He's blitzing the gap he's responsible for.
I'll say something, Coach. I learned and over my time, I know with getting beat deep, and nobody likes getting beat deep. I learned that pressing on the edge is better than playing off when getting beat deep. Seems like these guys get more relaxed when you're playing off as much. And even if you don't have the speed, it's still a tougher throw. So I don't do it every time because you don't want to get the keys. You don't want to give anybody the keys to the car every play. But sometimes I'll press them up. A lot of times we press. If we got athletes out there, we press in every play that we can. It makes sense. But yeah, I do a lot of pressing. You try it in practice and you see how it works because that kid's got to make a good throw between the defender and the sidelines, especially on the outside guys.
Any throw to number ones, the outside receivers, man, it's tough. It's tough. A tough throw.
I understand the inside. Yeah, don't press up on the inside guys as much. But on the outside, one-on-one on the outside, I'll take my chances a lot of times unless that quarterback he's the next coming, then all bets are off. But we'll probably stay at 5 to 7. But if he's kind of okay or he has weaknesses, then I'll press up a lot of times and have him make that throw between the defender and the sidelines.
We'll play man free here too. We're not really impressed. We're playing definitely with inside leverage, but we do inside like leverage. Man here too. But like you were saying, for them to hit, anything deep, we're really vulnerable to hitch by one here, or maybe even a quick now if this dog,
exactly,
rally to the ball. But we don't get hit with a lot of hit. Although we're in Pop Warner in 2018, we went to the Eastern Region Championship game in D3, which unfortunately, if you win, you don't go to Florida, which kind of sucked. But, our regular season was, D1 or D2 in Pop Warner is much more competitive. Not taking anything away from my team and what we did, but, where we were put in D3 for some reason. I don't know why that year. But, they hitched us to death. That was the first time a team ever – we won that game. That was the first time ever a team really completed hitch a lot on us. They would just friggin' run him in and just run a hitch here, or they send him vertical and run a hitch. And a lot of times my dog wouldn't get underneath it, But any throw, man, to number 1 is hard. That's why when we're in cover 3, we're always heavy on number 2, especially if number 2 vertical. We always split the difference between 1 and 2 when we're getting doubles like this. So, but I agree. And you know what? I always played a little bit off, man, but the problem with that is that, one, you're giving the kid a free release. You can just take it. And if he's a better athlete, you're in trouble. That I learned.
Super trouble.
That I learned. And then a lot of times, even though he's inside leverage, he may be turned in. But a lot of times he's turned in. If this kid drives up the field and comes underneath him and his hips are wrong, we actually give up the inside. So when you press, you could kind of determine, you just heavy on his inside press, and he wants to take the vertical, squeeze him to the sidelines.
We saving that thing inside our leverage, and we just jam with our inside hand and try to keep him out. That keeps him away from the slants and all the other quick stuff inside. We kind of align eye to eye with my inside out of his eye, my inside out of his inside eye, and we inside of him, and we try to take away the slant is main key, and make sure we're physical with our offhand jam. That's the biggest thing of teaching press coverage is you can't use both hands. Always inside offhand, and then once you put the inside offhand on them, it depends on how physical the kid is. Now, but
we played some press man a couple years ago. I was running a 5-3, and I obviously I didn't do a very good job coaching it. But like a lot of times, the kid would always want to press. Like if he's playing with inside leverage, he'd play with the receiver's side hand, and he'd lock his hip up. The kid would rip right under, and he'd take him vertical. And I'm like, yeah, that's no good. So yeah, offhand, man, jam is huge.
Yeah, so, you jam with that inside and those hips lock. Every receiver can run any route in the route tree. You can't cover any of them. Yeah.
Yeah, great point.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you when I mentioned earlier. We do Pop Warner now, and our league only went national maybe 5 years ago. So we were just playing city. And the last couple of years, like I said, we've lost to some really good teams. Last year we lost to a Virginia Beach team, but they were just a better team. We didn't play extremely well. We hadn't played a game in a month. You know how those regional playoffs go. We were in the D1 bracket. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a game.
Bracket, man. Tough bracket.
We couldn't get a game for a while, and we finally played a game. And I think unusual circumstance, we were beating the team, and they pulled the kids off the field. He didn't want to play anymore. I've never seen that before in my life. They pulled the kids off the field. So we hadn't played a game in a month when we had to go play them. But then they were a really good team. You know, Virginia Beach is known to win national championships.
Yeah, they're in Florida every year. Multiple levels.
And they beat us, and they went on to win the national championship. So we lost to the national champion. A couple years before we played in the regional championship, we played against a team in Virginia. It was Churchland, and it was D1 also. And like I said, they just had some really athletic kids, and we let them get loose a couple times, and it cost us. It was a very tight game. But, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, you got to be ready. In those situations, man, it's very competitive. And a lot of times you don't play for 2 weeks, and it's really tough, really, really tough. You see a lot of different stuff. You got to do your scouting really hard.
Yeah. And then, you know, at the end of the day, too, it's one thing getting beat schematically. It's an entirely different thing getting beat physically. You know, if they're better team, better athletes, it's hard to, you should always be competitive with good coaching and prepare.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes you just get beat by better teams, man.
Yeah, and I think that's what happened. I think that's what happened. We had a talented team, very talented. Of course, we were a D1 team, so we were very talented. But like I said, when we make substitutions, it was different. They were bringing in. It's almost like Alabama. They were bringing in 5 stars. We're bringing in 2 and 3 guys, 3-star guys. So it's just a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like what you do, though, Coach. I really do. I like the slants. I really love to get back to that because it's so tough on the offensive lineman when you're slanting and your head up and you're slanting. And like I said, especially when you do your scouting search, like your scouting research like you do, and you got your calls, and it makes it a lot easier. And it's tough on linemen when linebackers going one way and they're stacked and another guy's going the other way. Really tough on them. It's similar to the shade stuff. It causes a lot of problems up front, and you're doing it with 3 guys basically on the line. And I think that's what people miss. They think you're going to play 1960 football. We're going to line up head up, and we're going to 2-gap across the entire line. Yeah, I mean, you don't do that in a 3-3 stack or a 3-5 defense. You add your slants, you add your stunts, you add your movements, and you get a totally different feel. And I think guys that say you can't stop the run with a 3-line defense are guys that are thinking you're 2-gapping 3 guys across the front.
Yeah, no.
And your line, nobody's doing that with a 3-5 or a 3-stack defense. They're doing some form of slanting, some form of shade technique, and it's good football, really good football. And like I say, with the spread going throughout the high school and the college ranks, kids are going to play more 3 lineman fronts than they are going to play 4-line fronts from high school on up because they're facing more spreads.
Yep, definitely. See, and this is why I like it. Every year we play a really good double wing team. A lot of teams will run power, but they won't pull or they won't even kick out. It's more so ISO. But you'll see they call it power, or the coaches yelling run power, but I'm watching on film, it's like ISO. It's ISO. But a true double wing team in our area runs down kick. That's what they do. So
exactly.
What we like to do against true power teams that have someone kick out and they wrap the backside guard, pull the backside guard around, is pre-snap our dogs, our base defense are always contained. And I got mixed results out of this, but pre-snap, the guy, let's say they're running I formation here. Okay, he sees the dog. This is our outside linebackers overhangs. We call it dogs. They say, okay, that's who I'm kicking out. So we're going to down block here, down block here. We're going to kick him out, and we're going to pull and wrap around. So pre-snap, they'll see, okay, I'm kicking this kid out. As soon as the quarterback begins his cadence, we do cheat down a little bit because we don't want to slant from, 3 yards out and 3 yards back. So, we do cheat down, and then post-snap, he's slanting, dipping, and ripping across the tight end's face. And then now it's basically a scrape exchange. Instead of our dog our force, our rip's our force, and he's our C-gap player. So a lot of times, we'll wrong arm this, or we'll just have him really just take on that kick out and then spill it out to our rip and then our Mike, and then the double wing or power eye, if there's no receivers here, we got another corner. So we spill it out to these three. So
that's the same thing.
It's a great slant that's worked for us on power. We're weak against the pass on this. Especially we lose our flat player because we are cover 3. It is a little risky if it's play action. But, this is our go-to power run. And that's the diversity of the 3-5 because, pre-snap, we show one thing. Post-snap, we'll do something different. So that's kind of why
that.
We like it, too.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do with the flex. Instead of the R, we have the Sam or the Joker, and we'll do the same thing. We'll flex it. We'll bring the overhang of the outside guy in, and we'll flex him out. Like I said, that's why I'm a big fan of the peel coverage because that takes the backs away. In this scenario, if I'm doing that, I'm probably in a 0. I'm probably locking that safety up on that backside tight end, and I'm man-to-man on the corner on the other side, and the backside corner and the, I guess, strong side corner in this defense probably would be in man on that tight end.
You could lock him.
We're looking at, we're locking. Yeah, we kind of shift the lock.
Peel techniques.
Yeah, peel technique.
We take off if it's flare or swing.
If we're coming, that's right. If we're coming and that running back takes a horizontal step, that means you're getting a swing pass or a flare. And once he sees that horizontal step, he opens his hips, and we run this like a skeleton drill. We'll do it for about 10 minutes a day if we're playing a team that does that, and we do. Where the guy just, as soon as the ball is snapped, he opens the hips and he flits down the line and he's looking for ball. And we'll practice that in like a skeleton with the DN. With the overhang and the Joker, we'll do that. And he'll basically just, as soon as he sees the hips open up, he opens the hips, come down the line. And as soon as he recognizes pass, I want him to get to the body right now. And I emphasize that. And I can't tell you, Coach, I can't tell you how times I've been rewarded where that guy pick it off and the running back stuck. And usually those jokers and the overhand guys are athletic guys. If they catch it, it's going to have a tough time catching unless he's got to go 80 plus. If it's 50 and under, you can get the band strike up. It's going to be a touchdown.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Yeah, especially he's looping and he becomes forced, so he's already going to, have the mindset of not getting beat outside. So it's a really easy technique to play. And like you said, you read this kid's hips, man, that easy tell. It's not going to be come 3 steps downhill and he's just going to swing out. And it's like you said, it's money all day. And I actually have a clip. I don't know if I'm going to do another video, just kind of what I do, like real in depth. And we haven't had as much picks on it as you, maybe because my kids can't catch the freaking ball. But there was a couple times, man, where we were just this close to it too. Like we were a little indecisive on driving on it, where we just kind of get our hands on it. But man, we so many teams will run you off and swing their athlete.
Yeah,
so, we're all over that all the time. So I agree.
Yeah, I just kind of beat it in the kid's head that we still, even in that defense, you still got 5 or 6 guys coming. Mm-hmm. So we're going to get pressure on the quarterback. When you think it's coming, be aggressive. Just get to the body, and you still don't lose anything. And we run straight to the body when he throws those hands up and looks for that screen. If we run to the body, we're either gonna make a Hollywood hit or we're gonna catch it and go the other way.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. And I think after talking to you too, and my offensive coordinator is like, Jeff, when you press, you gotta play. When you play lock, we call it, you gotta play press coverage. Stop playing off on these kids. Because it's hard for the kid when you're playing off. You're not getting hands on. They could go. It's just harder to play in space. Like you press them, man. when teams spread us out, we'll lock it a lot of times if we're scared with verticals, but we'll play off. But if we lock it, and then a lot of times when we get 2x2, we're going to go downtown Rip or Leo from the field. We're going to send one of them off the edge. So you generate the pressure of having a free edge rusher, really.
Right.
If they're 2x2, our ends are in head up on the tackles. They're slanting down. Our Leo and Rip are probably just the wide side one will do, or maybe the short side one. It depends, game planning and everything. But he'll come off the edge, pressure, and then you get hands on. You'll create a bad throw and take away any easy route or any slant from the outside receiver. So
it takes away press inside leverage, takes away every route in the route tree but two. That's a back shoulder out, and a deep fade. That's it. You can't run slants, can't run hitches, can't run curls, can't run digs. You can't run any of that because we sit on the inside. If he throws it in any of those routes, we're either going to pick it or it's going to get knocked down. And if you can eliminate routes and guys only got to defend two, that makes it easy on the corner as well. I'm a big fan of pressing, definitely if I know it's coming. And I know it sounds crazy when you're playing those athletic teams. All right, we're going to press, and this guy's going to beat us down the field, easy touchdown. No, because the guy back there is 10, 11 years old throwing a pass that he ain't ready to throw, and he's got to throw it in a tight window, and we're sending pressure. A lot of times you're in man, you're going to get a free rusher because you're coming. Yeah, you're coming. When you're in man, that's you blitz, you see man. So a lot of times you're sending guys, and he's going to have a few seconds to make that decision, and usually it leads in either a sack or a terrible throw. And as a defensive coordinator or a defensive guy, anytime somebody throws a down away, I'm happy. I'm ecstatic. So those throws, 20% might land, but I haven't seen a lot land in the last, since we went to a really true press, I haven't seen a lot of those passes land. I've seen more interceptions off bad throws. And we do trail technique kind of coverage. We press inside, we get in this hip pocket and run with them. If it's a bad throw, the corner's in a better position to pick it off than the receivers to catch it. Because we're in that hip and we're running with him. We're in his hip running with him, watching those chests, eyes always on the chest. As soon as the hands start to come back, we turn around. If it's a short throw or it's an inside throw, my corner's going to pick it. He's going to pick it.
Yeah, I think we're going to finally run press. And I was just so hell-bent on not getting beat deep. My like I said, my OC is a very good coach. He always tells me, Jeff, stop playing off. I mean, you play cover 3 or 4, they're already off. If you want to play off, just go to cover 3. He wants to. You always pushing me to play man. So I think press man. So I think we're going to do that this year. I just have to make sure I do a good job, and I get my defensive back coach on board with make sure we're teaching this properly and stuff. But if we want to play off, we'll stay in our base cover 3 because we are a zone coverage team. That's kind of what we do.
And you can still press in zone. I mean,
we press bail too. Yep,
press bail. Yeah, press bail. You can still press bail. I mean, I've done that as well.
And then bail back into our thirds.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
And then that ties in. We press bail already, so we might as well press bail when we're in lock. When that's a lock, that's our man coverage.
Exactly.
So I mean, that's I think an adjustment we're making. It's just, and then when we play off, our kids sometimes they get caught flat-footed. Like you were saying, sometimes it's harder for them to play deep coverage because they're off, and they have to respect something short because they're playing off. Sometimes the kids just run right by them, so it defeats my whole purpose of I want them to play off so we don't get beat deep, but yet we are. They're having problems tracking the ball because they're so far away from the defender.
Yeah, they get lost. You get lost looking back, and you get separation while you're looking back.
Turned all wrong, where they'll turn and then they can't really find the ball, and they're going press man.
Yeah, so, it's not it sounds. I'm telling you, Coach, it sounds like okay, press man. We're going to have trouble. Maybe guys run against better athletes. I mean, you got to do stuff for that. You run across a guy that's just that guy. Obviously, you're going to send help, but most guys don't have that guy. Yeah, you can bracket him.
So a safety over.
Things you can do. Yeah, you can do special things to take away that guy. But if he's just a decent sized guy or he's comparable to what you have, even if he's a little faster, yeah, you still press. You play physical. It's still going to take 2 or 3 seconds for the guy to get it loose. Worst case scenario, guy catches a 10, 15-yard pass that was supposed to be deeper. Best case scenario, if you press and we trail, he underthrows it, we pick it, and we hit the sidelines, and the receivers got to catch us now. Yep. So, and that happens a lot. We have guys, we had a guy last year, like a 95-yard touchdown or something. They threw it deep. He was in press man, trail. The quarterback underthrew it. He turned around and he broke back up on the ball, caught it, hit the sidelines, and he was gone. So you don't have the greatest athletes to do that. You can also just press, trail, make him make a throw between me and the sidelines. If he does it, we tackle the guy, shake his hands, and we go back to the huddle. My bad, guys. We'll get him next play.
And especially to the outside receivers, man. I mean, that's a far throw. How many times you see where, the ball is almost a duck or just floating because the kids just, especially if they got pressure, just going to throw it as far and high as they can. So, I don't know why it took me 2 years to kind of work in. We'll be probably 60 to 70% cover three, regardless. Because again, that's what we do. I mean, we coach up our kids pretty well with our zone drops and things like that. We get good at doing that. So that's why that's our base. But there is times where we want to play or we have to play man. So, but when we do play man, we're going press now. You and several other coaches have been talking to me about it. You kind of put me over the top. I'm going to play some man now. Press man now.
That's good, Coach. Like I said,
we're base cover three. But, that's what we do, and that's what we're best at. There are holes,
definitely.
but, we're aware of that. But, we
want to do
like man.
You want to do what you do. You don't want to change everything you do. I mean, I'm in North Carolina now. I'm not a huge UNC Tar Heel fan, but I was a big fan of Dean Smith when I was watching. I watched it when I was younger because he always changed what he did. If one year he have a team, he's running up and down the court. The next year he'd have a team and they'd be playing 2-3 zone because he didn't have the athletes. He always changed a little bit of what he did. He kept true to what he does, but he always changed a little bit of what he did. Really good coach. And you see the same thing with Bill Belichick in the NFL right now. I mean, Tom Brady won a Super Bowl, 2 years ago. He went from this 5 wide receiver, quick throw, and then they beat the Chiefs and they won the Super Bowl running 2 tights and a fullback. I mean, sometimes you just got to adjust what you got and do different things, and people are not always ready for that.
Yeah,
because if you got a really good receiver and a decent quarterback, they're not going to press him. That's what they're going to say all week. They're not going to press him. Then you press him, he has trouble getting off because he hadn't been pressed all year. People are scared of him. Now he's fighting at the line of scrimmage and the quarterback's ready to throw. He's sacked. If we can turn one of those into a strip sack, a fumble, or a bad throw and a pick, we winning. Because our goal is to get 3 turnovers every game, however we can get them.
Yeah, man. I mean, the more I think about it too, if I'm a lot of times I'll be scared to play man when I know they have to pass, like with a single safety, even though we're locked up and playing man free. If I'm really scared too, and I'm just thinking out loud now because now I was working on offense the last couple of weeks for the season. Now I got to get into defense. Now you got my mind going. But like another thing too with press man, I could always take one of my dogs or my rip or bump my rip out, move my dog, and go 2 safeties, play man across and play 2 deep.
Exactly.
So I mean, there's a lot of options there for certain situations where I'm scared to leave one-on-one because you got a middle safety. Regardless how deep he is, I feel like can't really help out on the wide balls to like 1 or anything. But, if that's the case, man, I'll just play man across the board. Maybe get a little less pressure, but at least we'll have two guys deep to help out, too.
Yeah, and also what I teach
behind the man.
Yeah, and also what I teach in those situations with my free safety, we read shoulders and we run. Shoulders turn, we running. Because at this age in youth ball, up until high school, you don't see guys scan the field, go from one side to the other. When a kid turns that shoulder to the right, he's 9 times out of 10, he's probably going to throw right. So if we get the deep ball right, I'm telling my safety is we're 1, 2, 3 with our drop. If the shoulders turn, we open our hips and we haul behind to that side. Because a lot of times the kid's not going to go, well, I'm going to go left. Let me come back right. We don't play Peyton Manning and Tom Brady every week, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, we don't play those guys every week. So I tell my safety 1, 2, 3 in passing situations, and then if he turns right, if we're in single high. If we're in single high, I give him permission. If he turns his shoulders, open the hips, and we are running at a 45-degree angle straight to that side. To try to help if we can, if it's just that guy, or we think he might complete those, but that's just the way we play. I play the safety. I teach him that 1, 2, 3 in 3rd and long or pass situations. If we're single high, 1, 2, 3. If those shoulders turn right or left, open the hips, and then hit a 45-degree angle straight to the sideline. And he'll be in he may get there late, but he'll be in the play. And he may get there early, but he'll be in the play. Depends on how fast that kid is and how smart that kid is.
Yeah, definitely. All right, yeah. I mean, good stuff, Coach. I mean, I just hope, I don't know if you've seen our other video. We did one with Coach Nate Albaugh, who's founder of Cheap Pigskin. I had him on here talk about his 3.5. So I got some stuff from him too. But I just really wanted to address this misconception because I talk about like in all our Facebook groups and on our website a lot about the 3-5. So I'm a big fan of it now. Like I said, I'm somewhat new to it too. We're only running it 3 seasons. I'm not as seasoned with what I want to do and adjusting to things as you are from what, because you've been doing it much longer with your defense. So I'm still somewhat in the learning period of it. I feel like, but a lot of people for some reason they just say you can't stop the run. It's all I get all the time. They say, "Oh, I would love to play that defense every week. We put up 40."
I know.
Without giving any context. Like, okay, let's talk about it. What do you run? Like, let's. I even invited people on to do one, and we'll do like a chalk war. I've seen some high school coaches do it, so but they don't want to show up when I invite them to it. But like so many people knock it, man. It's crazy. I don't know why.
Yeah, like I said, I think the biggest misconception is you think you're running the old 3-4. Pittsburgh's still a 3-4, where you got three guys and three down linemen, and they're all two gapping. They don't have two gap players, and they're thinking you're all two gapping. You're two gapping with one guy, and you're slanting the outside guys, which is just one form of doing it. And you can do it separate ways. And the way I do it is through shades and techniques. It's different ways to do it. I'm telling you, they're thinking you're running one of those base defense. You're lining up three guys head up, and you're two gapping with three down linemen. And that's what they're thinking. And you're playing your linebackers 5 yards back, and they're thinking they're going to get clean, free running lanes all day. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And they don't understand it. And the only way to do it is to actually play them. And then they say, well, maybe that's a little different. And then I've played coaches, and they say, what were you running, coach? Was that a 5-3? I said, no. Yeah. Yeah. What are you running, coach? Is that a 5-3? I said, nope. He says, stag. I said, no, not quite.
3-5. 5-3.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that a 5-3? No, not quite. We do a little bit different here, man. So, I mean, you cause that confusion. The guys, when they, after a game, if you can't tell me when we're running, then I won the game. I mean, I already won that game.
Yeah, but man, it's a great defense, and I'll let you get out of here because these things could drag on. All my videos go like hours, and I'm like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm like, holy crap! Is people really gonna sit here and watch that? I mean, I would, but
Yeah, I know.
I
understand.
These things shorter, but doesn't never work out that way.
I appreciate the invite, Coach. Definitely tag me in the link. I love to see it and critique myself. I tried to get it all out. If I missed anything, I'd love to stay in touch with you, man. I'll keep watching what you do.